Yo, what's good, guys? KosherTech here. So today we got another Chinese case to review. This over here is the Montech X2. This is the big brother of the Montech X1, which I also did review. I'll have that in the description below. I'm also going to be giving away this case. I'll have the giveaway contest on how to enter in the description below as well. Let's hit that 200 likes and let's get this case to someone. But anyways, like I said, this is the X2, very similar to the X1. What I think that they similarly used the body. The chassis is similarly the same. The only difference what we get mostly here is this mesh, which contains 140. The X1 also did have mesh, but contained 120. So this entire mesh over here contains two 140 fans. The shroud itself from the mesh is plastic. Everything else is Chinese steel, including the mesh itself. Up top, we have a similar layout. We have this big power button. We have a reset button. This button is like for nothing. It's supposed to be LED button, but there's no function to it. Like I said, they just kept the same chassis itself and just made it upgraded a bit. But we have two indicators over here. We have our microphone headphone. We have two USB 2s and one USB 3. We have a dust filter which supports two 120 fans, and we have a rear fan which is 120. Now this case comes with three different fans. We have two fans which are 140, which are in the front, and we have a fan which is in the rear, is a 120 mil fan. But basically that's that. We're about to get her naked in a second. One thing I gotta say, the front mesh, of course I love the front mesh, but what they should have done is this give us continue these cutouts all the way up top of the case. Why not? Give us more airflow. Same thing. I mean, why just have them in the bottom? Just put them all the way up. Why not? Side panel. I have beef with this side panel. Same exact thing. It's the same flush side panel. It's going to be very hard to work with the side panel. But anyways, let's get her naked. All right, you guys, so she officially naked. Now, this case does support mobos all the way from ATX to mini ITX. And like I said, you cop this for $70 from Amazon. I'll have the description I'll have the link in the description below. I think it's too much for this case, to be honest with you, even though if it comes with fans. Like I said, two 140 Montech fans over here. I don't believe they are PWM. They are powered via Molex. Same thing in the X1. That shit is whack with the Molex. We have all our front panel connectors, and look at this. This is what I'm saying. Like, yo, all these case manufacturers are honestly pissing me off. I don't care if this is budget or not budget, bro. I'm tired of this being over here. You guys got to start mounting it more vertically over here. Stop doing this horizontal, because all these front panels are just going to be sticking out like this. So when you're going to try to make your case looking straight, you know, you're going to try to hide them from here, but it's still going to come out from the top. There's no point. Put them out here, because this shit right here is no bueno. All right, I'm tired of seeing that. You can't mount any rads in this case, even though it's a bit bigger than the X1. But you can't mount any rads. You can't mount 120s here because the 140s are already like pre-installed since they did it like this. I don't like this design. Look, I don't want to make this video as the same how I basically took a deuce on the X1. But the reason why I took a deuce on the X1 is the same reason why I'm taking a deuce on this. It's just, I don't know what Montech is doing. Anyways, let me just continue. So like I said, 120 here. We got 120s on top. Let's put her in the back. So on the back, same exact thing as the X1. Same exact wire management. Basically, you're going to most likely run your 24-pin connector over here. We have a bunch of cutouts for zip ties, which I do actually like. You're going to run most likely your CPU power header over here. But see, this is what I'm saying. Like, you see how flush this is? Like, running your CPU power cable is going to be a pain, because usually with any case, when you run it, you hide it by this metal over here. But here, they just made everything too flush, you know. And the side panel is the same. There's no space from the side panels, too flush. So when you're going to try to run cable extensions, for instance, it's going to be hard. And I don't want no comments telling me, oh, you shouldn't run cable extensions. Son, you shouldn't tell me how to build in my PC. All right, this is a review. This is a review of testing about everything about the PC. So when you actually do buy it, when you're actually a cat who's using cable extensions, you're going to know what to come with it. You know, so I don't want to hear that BS, man. But anyways, when you're going to use cable extensions, if you are going to use cable extensions, you know, it's going to be a little tough. I might put, you know what, I'll throw cable extensions again in here. It's going to be tough, but it's going to be a lot of fun regardless. But anyways, we have a booklet over here. We have a spinning disc tray over here, aka standard mechanical drives, HDD drives. Hard drives, we could mount the SSD up top. We have a dust filter here in the bottom, is removable, you know. This, let me see this, can I? Yeah, so we could actually pop off, we actually could remove the spinning disc tray right over here from the screws. You see the two big black screws? You could actually get rid of this if you're just running SSDs. But same complaint, guys. This is like the X2, honestly, I got this. They didn't modify this case whatsoever. They basically made this case essentially the same. Just looking at this, all they did is just gave us two 140s, bruh. You know, that's just whack, man. Same thing. Be careful here. These things just like remove, you know. You see how easily they remove. I don't want you guys losing these. But yeah, the front panel headers are actually a little different. They're all color coordinated. Different use. One is power, one is reset. One is HDD drive, LED, and LED, front LED header. So USB types, USB 3, and then we have two USB 2s, and this is what? This is the reset switch. But that's basically it. For expansion, what we got here? Let's check it out. We got uno, we got dos, we got tres, we got cuatro, we got cinco, we got seis, and we got siete. Let's go. We got only numero siete only, which is these. Remember, these are molded, right? So you're gonna have to pop them. You know, you can't screw them on and screw them in and screw them off, which is whack. You can't vertically mount. It is what it is on that. No bueno, man. Look, watch the X1 vid. You guys are gonna get the same thing. I wish they made this case. This right here, bro. This is a $50 case, man. All right, but anyways, let's build on it, man. Because right now, let's go. All right, guys, so she is all built, as you guys could see. So like I did say, the front fans are RGB. As you can see, they have different colors. Now, unfortunately, you can't switch the colors. Like I said, this button, I don't know, this is not for switching colors. They don't have like a, you're gonna just basically get this rainbow mode for this 140 mil fans. Now, these fans are also not RPM. I believe the RPM, I want to say, is around 1200 RPM. Now, one thing I got to say about this front mesh design is, as you can see, the mesh is not continuous. So, like, these cutouts over here are for quote unquote more airflow, but like, where's this air gonna come? You know, so what they should have done here is a little, you know, a little F up, I would say, is they should have continued this cutout for more airflow. And that's the thing, like, these are 140s. You know, so I get what they did, but still I don't get what they did, because like, what about here? What about my, you know, if I have hard drives, what about, you know, my hard drive getting cooled? Like, there's not going to be really air going in here. That's the whole point of when you get, for instance, the X1, right? You had three 120s. It made sense because that bottom 120 is going to basically cool, you know, all your components, which are basically your hard drives, which are below. But, you know, like this, just keep that in mind. It is what it is in this design. But again, I'm not a fan of this design. You can't put any other 120s here. They have to be 140s. I don't like that. It's too restrictive in my opinion. Overall, I did put an air cooler here. This is the Vitro V5. I'm gonna have the video up for this cooler. I'll have it in the description below once the video is up. And we have the Montech rear fan. Now, I did not put any fans up above, because for most times when you guys do buy these cases, you guys don't add fans right away. So this performance test is gonna be basically without any fans up there. Now, the SSDs, like I said, there's two mountable SSDs. I'm gonna go in there in a minute. The wire management here, like I said, the X1, same complaint. But yeah, let me take the side panel off, and let's talk about the case inside. Let's go. So just to give you guys a better idea, I took off the front mesh panel. Now again, this is washable. Like I always say, you know, hop over to mom's kitchen, 1, 2, 3 quickly. You know, before she's there, she's not gonna slap you over the head while you're bringing her, you know, your computer stuff over here. But again, washable. These this front mesh panel is actually, you could remove it. There's little grommets or grooves over here that you could basically take out. I mean, if you don't want it, but that's an option. But it is washable. Now, to the point that I was trying to make, you see, it's solid. Like, where's the air gonna come? Like, these cutouts, they're useless. They're absolutely useless. What they're just the design. You know what I mean? Like, they're just the design, because where's the air gonna come? There's nothing here. Like, this is a really dumb design, because again, no, there's no cutouts here. Like, we have this, you know, big ass Montech logo. All right, but very flawed here. I don't like this style. X2 is no bueno for me, for, you know, for how they did this design to add up these 140 mil fans. I don't like the design whatsoever. So yeah, 2 SSDs. I don't have any handy SSDs, so I just left them like this. But also keep in mind, when you are gonna put SSDs, the wires, right? It's gonna be tough. Let me try to go in there. It's gonna be tough, man, because it's gonna be tough to mount the SATA cables through here. The same complaint that I have with the X1. So just be, you know, keep that in mind. It's a very like, it's a tough case to work with. And I'm gonna show you guys the cable management in the back. And of course, look at this, like the cable management like I had over there, it was tough for me to maneuver everything. So, and I had to remove the HDD drive bracket, the spinning disc bracket. I had to get rid of it because the cable manager it was just tough for me. Now, if you do wanna add fans above, the 120s are gonna fit. If you wanna add an AIO, like I said, it's most likely not gonna fit. In their website on Amazon, this case doesn't support any rads at all. You can't even put up in the front, but the cooler is sitting mighty fine. There's plenty of space here, and I'm gonna have everything in the description below, the dimensions and whatnot. And we have a Strix card over here. It's a foot-long card, so if you cats are in the market of getting a foot-long card, you have plenty of headroom over here. Look at this. You have plenty of space, so just keep that in mind, guys. But anyways, let's flip this bad boy over. Let's talk about wire management. So I decided not to go with any cable extensions, just to give you guys a better understanding. You know, if you guys are not putting in cable extensions, how is the wire management gonna look? Because on the X1, I chose to go with cable extensions, but on the X2, let me make it without cable extensions. So if you guys want to see how it looks with cable extensions, just watch the X1 vid, because essentially it's the exact same case. But overall, you know, this little cutout, this bracket over here for the 24-pin connector is nice. But this, you know, for the CPU power cable, you're basically asked out, because there's no way of like hiding it behind this metal over here. So this is bad design, absolutely bad design. And the side panel, same complaint I have, is too flush. It's way too flush, you know, like there's just, it's tough to put it in, because when you put it in, it's just really hard to cable manage with this case, unless if you honestly just, you know, just throw everything in the bottom and basically keep it moving from there. But keep in mind, if you are going to try to put any fan hubs here, it's going to be really tough. Just, you know, keep that in mind, because like even this header over here for the Vitra, like it was tough for me to actually put it in there. It's not like, it doesn't bulge out, you know, the side panel doesn't like bulge out a bit, so it's going to be easier to, but again, I don't want to keep on repeating this, but the same complaint I have for the X1 is exactly the same complaint I have for the X2. You know, but anyways, let's look at the temps and let's get into that good stuff. So I went ahead and decided to do something different. A bunch of times in my comments, I got youngins asking me, yo, Kosh, does mesh cases, you know, mesh cases meaning, you know, cutouts with holes for airflow actually do make a difference? So I don't have to tell you, let the test actually show it to you. So what I basically did here is I used Kosher's patented technique. It's called the Ghetto aluminum foil test. So basically all I did, I just put aluminum foil to, you know, wrap around, so I don't want air coming in. So, you know, it's pretty good wrapped around. I better not get no flack in the comments saying it's not good. But anyways, I just covered it up. And, you know, let's check out the performance difference. Let's go. So I got this running for an hour and 10 minutes. This is the Ryzen 3600. It's overclocked to 4.1 right over here. So we got the CPU fluctuating between actually 74 to 76 Celsius. So it goes between 74 to 75, and then it jumps to 76 Celsius. So you guys are going to see in a second right now, I'm going to remove it, and you guys are going to see the difference in temperature. But just keep this in mind, very important. You know, imagine that this was a solid panel. Like, take, for instance, the NZXT H500 case, I believe. The NZXT H500 case. It's not mesh. It just has this front. You know, mesh is important, guys. Basically, to answer your question, you know, try to go with mesh cases. Man, this actually looks pretty dope. But anyways, yeah, and cooler vid is coming. I'll have it in the description below. Just hope this guys helped you out. Let me know. Okay, so I have Valley and 8-Data just looping here in the background. Now I gotta say, at 1200, I believe these fans they're doing a pretty good job, especially with the mesh front. We're getting a lot of air coming in, as you guys would see right over here. So we got GPU at 58 Celsius. This is the 58 RX 580 Strix Edition, and the CPU at 66 Celsius and 100% load. And we're running this at 2 hours and 7 minutes. So we have Valley running here, and then we have 8-Data just running in the background, just stressing it. Like I also said, the Vitro cooler is doing a hell of a job, especially for the price. I'll have that video up in the description below once the video is available. But conclusion to the case, performs hella well. I don't even have the fans. I don't even have 120 fans up there, and it's just killing it. So if you are buying this case and you're wondering, Kosher, do I need to add more fans? Not really. Just get yourself a pretty good air cooler. This thing's 35 bucks. Throw it in, and basically you're going to be good to go, especially with the performance that I'm actually getting. I am kind of disappointed that these are not PWM fans. It's just the standard, but they're doing their job. They're still performing. They're really quiet, which is great. The sound is usually just coming from the graphics card as well as the air cooler itself. But if you're in the market of getting this case, keep in mind, for $70, definitely not. It's way too overpriced for $70. If you're considering something for $70, I would say the Montech Air X is absolutely a beast of a case. I did review it. I'll have that video in the description below as well. This is overpriced. I want to say this case mostly prices at, it ranges around 50 bucks. That's where it should be with the Montech X1. You know, Montech X1 and this are very similar. Check out the Montech X1 video, but keep in mind, you know, in my opinion, there's too many issues with it, especially with the wire management. Just, it's a headache. It's tedious to build in this case. But overall, for its performance, is it holding up? Most definitely is holding up, guys, as you guys saw. But let me know in the comments below, guys, what you think. As always, I'm KosherTech. I'm going to catch you cats next time. Deuces.